Hello and welcome to There's No Business Like, a podcast where friends and industry colleagues explore topics and interview leaders in our industry of professional theatrical touring. Ho, 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 and happy holidays. We are here for our holiday podcast, which is, I think, one of our most favorite podcast traditions. It's our third holiday here together.
Our only holiday tradition or podcast tradition.
I'm Danielle from the Alden in McLean, Virginia, and I'm here with my favorite reindeer, Katie Miller.
Hi, everyone. Katie Miller with Michigan Maven Creative Associates in Midland, Michigan.
Everyone knows this snowman, Josh.
Josh Benson rocking it from Marion, Illinois.
Nutcracker, Kevin.
Kevin Maynard coming at you from Tallahassee, Florida.
And everyone's favorite sugar cookie, Brian.
Brian Zelmer from Bardavon Presents in the beautiful Hudson Valley of upstate New York.
Ooh.
Well, I hope you're all ready to party.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, we posted something to our social media asking all of our amazing fans to ask us anything.
And we were overwhelmed. Thank you. It's going to be hard selecting which ones make the episode.
Whatever you want to know, whatever you want to know about the show, about us, about working, this is your chance. And the people have spoken. The first question is, what are some holiday traditions that you celebrate with your family? Go.
We actually, in my family, every year, my mother reads 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Then every time the word "and" is said, we pass a present to the left. And then when you end up at the end of the story, you have a little present. So
That's
That's
sweet.
cute.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I can pretty much recite "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." So.
It was always a huge tradition in my husband's family to do a white elephant where, you get one through whatever, and then number one gets to, trade last, basically. And to say that they are competitive is an understatement. So in a very different kind of way to pass gifts, it now feels like I need to you need to make a stand about which gift you're getting and then go after it. And that to me feels like Christmas.
I would say in our house, we have I have two things to share. So we have a VHS tape that has recorded from the TV from the 90s, Shining Time Station Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas, and the Garfield Christmas special, all recorded on one tape. And my brother and I love to watch those three holiday specials when we happen to be together for the holidays. I particularly love Garfield Christmas special. I don't know why, but it's a little sassy and a little sweet. And so I highly recommend, if you can find it on YouTube or it runs on TV, to watch it, because it's one of my personal favorites.
Does it still have commercials in it?
It has the commercials. It has the 90s commercials.
Can I borrow it? Please send it to me. I really want to see this.
One of them is the Campbell's soup commercial where the snowman comes in from outside.
Classic.
And, has the chicken noodle soup and melts. Yeah.
Man, that just brought my childhood right back.
And then one of our other traditions, which we haven't done in a very long time, it sort of went away when my grandmother passed, but my grandmother used to do Christmas present bingo. So everyone would get a bingo card and she would number all of the presents. And so as you went through and distributed gifts and people opened them, you would mark off your bingo card, and whoever got bingo first would win an extra present. And so,
that's fun.
So it was K3, right, for Katie, or A12 for my brother Andrew, or whomever, right? And so that was a holiday tradition that I really loved, and we haven't really done a lot since I was in college.
Time to bring it back.
Pretty much the only tradition that we really have in my family now is that everybody comes to our house and I cook. And every year I try to make a different meal, although everybody loved my lasagna one year that they kept demanding me to bring it back. And then after 3 years, I'm like, come on, I'm getting bored. I want to cook something new.
Oddly ties in nicely with Garfield.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes.
For the most part, my family primarily just drinks whiskey as our tradition.
Ooh, I like that one too.
Seems on brand.
Yeah.
My father and I, until I was 25 or 26 and was kind of starting my own family, every Christmas Eve late at night, we would watch a different version of Christmas Carol every year. That was the ongoing tradition, but we haven't done it in a while now.
Do you have a favorite version?
The version starring Alastair Sim. which I think is 1963.
Ooh. I would say my favorite is A Muppet Christmas Carol.
I love that one too.
Yeah.
Of course.
Classic. Love that, Josh.
Well, our next question from Santa's Ask Us Anything bag comes to us all the way from Ohio. It is, what is the strangest or weirdest live arts experience that you've had as an audience member? Listener teased us by saying, mine involves a forgotten Gothic church in Paris with live snakes. So, Kevin, I would love for you to read this listener's wild experience involving snakes and Paris.
I was going to theater school in Paris, and some friends decided that we should go to this place they'd heard about. I had no context for it, and I just assumed it was a club. It wasn't a club. It also wasn't a show the way we think of shows, but definitely a live, immersive, and short experience. We got off the metro late at night, walked a few blocks through a neighborhood, and suddenly we were in front of what looked like a forgotten Gothic-style church with a big arched front door. No sound that I could hear, no lights that I could see, no one on the street, just quiet. We walked up the stairs, someone knocked on the door, it opened, and out poured some stage fog. I saw some stage lights on the columns and lots of people. I think in that moment I thought it was a club, but there was no music, even though it was loud. We stepped inside, and as I looked around, I saw dozens of people all over the place in varying states of being. Some standing, some sitting, some talking, some alone, some in groups. But most alarming for me were the ones writhing on the floor. Not 5 feet away was a person with a live snake in each hand, writhing on the floor, speaking/chanting in what might have been French, but really was tongues. Looking the other direction in the space, the same. There were people with snakes everywhere, and the soundtrack to the room were their voices speaking in what I thought was French gibberish. We found ourselves crashing a religious ceremony of some sort. We stayed about 10 minutes, but it felt longer. We did speak for several blocks back to the metro, and when we got on the train, I remember saying, "What was that?" And no one had an answer.
Nobody can follow that story, but I'll go anyway. And since Josh mentioned A Christmas Carol, I was watching The Christmas Carol once and somebody's phone kept going off. You could hear the buzzing, and the guy playing Scrooge just left the thing, screamed at this patron, told him to get the fuck out, and then waited and just sat there, waited, looking at them. The ushers finally came down, didn't know what to do. They like deer in headlights. They did finally escort this person out, and the person, made a fuss the whole way up out the door. And then Scrooge went back into being Scrooge and carried on the play like nothing happened.
I mean, it's kind of in
No
character.
snakes were involved, but
I mean, he kind of stayed in character. I mean, theoretically.
I guess,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I wish I could tell you about the fever dream that Josh and I experienced, but I literally cannot put it into words. But what I can do is tell you about a weird experience that I had at a different show that had nothing to do with the act on stage. We went, my brother took me to this like popular Colombian restaurant in Tampa. And it was me, him, and his wife, my sister-in-law, Leslie. And we're sitting there and the show starts. It's some flamenco dancing that's on stage, they were great. But next to us was this table, and what looked like a 12-year-old, just like, head down on the table, looked like he's just having the worst time. And so I was like, okay, well, it's just like some shithead kid. Like, I get it. We've all been there. And it was like, just as the show started, that the kid like moved, and you could tell, like, oh, that's not a 12-year-old. Like, that's a 21-year-old that has been way overserved. And at one point the show is going on, and all of a sudden, like, that kid just looks up and looks over at me and then just vomits all over himself, all over the floor. And everybody around us just like kept on going, like nothing was happening. And I was like, no. And then the family takes him and then walks out. And then the server, like they clean everything up. The server comes over and he goes, I heard there was a bit of a disruption. We're like, yeah, there was. At that same show, at the same time, we kept hearing what sounded like a kid playing on an iPad. And so we're sitting there and we're like, what? And like, my brother and I are getting really frustrated. Like, this is really annoying. Every time the music drops, you start hearing this iPad noise. About 30 minutes into this, we realized my brother's phone has been playing music the entire time.
Oh, nice.
So I will never forget that performance and that experience. So.
This is like a way far back memory, and so I'm not even 100% certain that it's real. But I have
We
this
love
memory.
fever dreams here.
I have this memory of my parents taking my brother and I when we were pretty young, so maybe 12, 13 years old. There was some sort of touring theatrical production, something that was outside at Heritage Landing in Muskegon, which is where Summer Celebration used to happen. It's this big outdoor space right on Muskegon Lake. And some company came through and set up a show, and my parents took us. So it was night. They had lights. It was some sort of ship. Like, they set up a ship that had a Ferris wheel on it. And I just remember being completely flummoxed by what was happening. The show, I recall the show didn't make any sense whatsoever. There was music. There were people swinging on the, I don't even know. I just remember that I think I walked away and I go, I don't think that's what theater is supposed to be. Like, even at 12, maybe 13 years old, I was like, that's the most bizarre thing maybe I'll ever experience in my life in a theatrical capacity. And so, yeah, that was very weird.
Was this on land?
Yes.
Oh,
but it was
okay.
like a pirate ship with a Ferris wheel on it. And also, like, how did they get it there, and how did they build it, and where did they come from, and then where did they go? I don't know.
God, not chill.
Glad it wasn't just me thinking that. Kevin might choke by the time we're done.
I'm gonna have to say one of my favorites, as far as things that I can't explain, is a Easter production that was done by a church, and there were a number of parts of the story that they just did with interpretive dance without any narration or storytelling to it. And I think it's one of the most awkward things I've ever seen in my life. So that's going to be one of my favorites.
I can imagine that.
Will they be remounting this? Because I would like to make a trip to see it.
I don't think so.
That's a bummer.
I mean, maybe. That was like 15 years ago.
Oh,
So
time to bring that one back.
Yeah. It's time in the cycle.
When I was in college, I went to a neighboring college to see a production that a friend was in that I felt obligated to see, and just assumed if a college produced it, it would be good. And I don't think there was a plot. And I know there was a lot of interpersonal dynamics happening, and everyone was mad at Jason. And like, it was like 3 hours long. And at every, like, there, you know, like, first we started out just being like, this is weird, right? Like, kind of looking at each other, and, you know, like, that progressed to just like us, like, full on making like faces at each other of like, what is happening, to just like giggling and laughing, because it kept spiraling downhill. And then I remember just like, there was like a fever pitch. Everyone got mad at Jason, and the lights flashed and they all went, Jason, like 3 or 4 times. And like, whenever we would like get heated about something, then after that we would be like, Jason. But we're just full on laughing.
I think that's how Kevin and I both felt in the show that he referenced earlier.
Oh, boy.
Because we were laughing to ourselves a lot. And it wasn't the show that was funny.
Should we pull the next question out of the bag?
Yep, here we go. So the truth is that our listeners are incredible. What they sent in were largely lightning round questions. But I am also a kind, caring person.
Aww.
So I am going to change it from a lightning round to a hot cocoa round. Here we go, Kevin. Hot cocoa. You can answer it, but you can't stay on forever. Eggnog, delightful or disgusting?
Oh, it's delightful. Love it.
Okay. Best venue you've ever been to?
I'm going to say the Abbey Theatre in Dublin.
White lights versus color lights. Which one goes on the tree? And which one goes outside the house?
White lights.
On both?
Yeah, I would say white lights on both. I would allow color on the tree. I mean, I'd allow it outside. It's up to you, but I would put white lights outside and on the tree.
I knew there was something we had in common. What is your favorite holiday song?
I really don't have one. I actually really do not like Christmas music.
Okay, wow, Scrooge. If you could move anywhere, no strings attached, for 6 to 12 months, where would you go? And now here is the place where I am being nice to you.
Oh, okay.
The listener said no repeats amongst the group.
Oh, I got to go first.
See, I'm always looking out for you.
I appreciate that. That's a lot of love. Scotland. From the first time I ever visited Scotland, like I absolutely fell in love with it.
And why is your state better than Michigan?
It's the weather. Yeah. Don't have snow. Don't have ice. It's not super cold. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, so with the power of technology, we're going to bring Katie back in because I think she's been listening this whole time.
Oh, 100%.
3, 2, 1. Eggnog. Delightful or disgusting?
I like eggnog. Yes, but not like super, not overdone eggnog. We'll put it that way.
What does overdone eggnog mean?
Like really
cook too long?
Like,
What kind of eggnog are you
so
drinking?
thick you basically can't drink it. Like it's got to have the right consistency.
What's the best venue you've ever been to?
I bet it's in Michigan.
No, I'm not going to pick a Michigan venue.
Sure.
No. I loved, was it Circle in the Square in New York where I saw the revival of Oklahoma?
White lights versus color lights. What goes on the tree? What goes outside?
White lights, both. Never colored lights.
God, thank you. Favorite holiday song?
I like It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. One of my favorite holiday tunes.
If you could move anywhere, no strings attached, for 6 to 12 months, where would you go and why?
Australia. I would love to just experience Australia and Aboriginal culture and sort of like what it's like on the other side of the world.
And so our listener decided to offend you. And one of their questions is, why is your state better than Michigan? And so I feel like you're going to have somebody that you don't know that you're going to need to fight with in this next year. So we're just going to skip right out and we're going to call in our next friend. So 3, 2, 1, here we go. Go round. Eggnog, delightful or disgusting?
I like eggnog a lot, but only like the week between Christmas and New Year's. The rest of the year, for some reason, I don't like it. And if you add a little rum to it, it's even better.
What's the best venue you've ever been to?
I don't think I can answer that one. I just love a lot of venues, including the 2 historic venues I work at now. But I just love old. Like the older the venue, the more I love it. So,
white lights versus color lights. What goes on the tree and what goes on the outside of the house?
I think it depends on the feel. Like I like white lights for like the clean and classy kind of feel, but I like color lights for like the homey situation. So I like both. I don't know, not together. Like it depends, you know.
What's your favorite holiday song?
I'm going to be generic, but I really love holiday songs, but only because I only allow them for a very short window. And like my kids will try to put it on. I'm like, nope, it's outside the window. We're not listening to it. So because I deprive myself all year long and only let it, you know, I'll listen to anything. I just hate hearing the same ones over and over again.
If you could move anywhere, no strings attached, for 6 to 12 months, where would you go and why?
I mean, I'd go anywhere for 6 months. I just love changing my scenery. So I don't have a specific place in mind. I would love to just like see where the deal is and go there, you know, even if I've never been or known nothing about it. I love adventure and discovering new places.
I love that. Why is your state better than Michigan?
I don't know. I can't answer that because I've never been to Michigan, and I hear great things about it from our good friend Katie. I don't think it's better than my state, but I think it definitely has good things, and I'm sure my state has good things that it doesn't have. So there's room for all of us.
All right, let's bring Josh back in. All right, eggnog, delightful or disgusting?
Homemade eggnog, delightful. Store-bought eggnog, disgusting.
What is the best venue you've ever been to?
Fox Theater, St. Louis.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's the most ornate thing I've ever seen in my life.
White lights or colored lights? What goes on the tree and what goes outside the house?
White lights go everywhere.
That was unanimous. Favorite holiday song?
Silent Night. Wait, roll that back. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
You're not supposed to get 2 answers, but okay. If you could move anywhere, no strings attached, for 6 to 12 months, where would you go and why?
I really like Jamaica.
Why is your state better than Michigan?
I really don't think it is.
Oh,
Yes.
I mean, yay, Illinois.
So I need you guys to get out of my house. It's past 9. Let's go. But on your way out, when you take a gift bag, you can tell us what your resolutions are for this coming year. And they can't be work related, just like you as a person. What are you going to do this year? And or what holiday greeting would you like to send to the industry?
Pass.
So my brother-in-law just keeps texting unsubscribe in different text chains.
Oh, I like that. Unsubscribe.
I'm gonna do that next time my next family group chat comes through.
A New Year's resolution or something I'm going to work on to be a better Katie next year is actually remember a piece of advice from Andre Bouchard's episode of our podcast. I re-listened to it recently because I was sharing it with some colleagues at work here in Midland. And he said, I'm going to paraphrase, but more often than not, the best idea in the room is not your own. And that really struck me. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And I want to make sure that I am really embracing that and making space for other people's good ideas and being really open to that and embracing that in the next year. Because I think often you get a little bit subconscious or self-conscious about your own work and you want to be bringing all good things to the table. But I want to take more of a backseat and I want to let other people's good work and good ideas shine. And I would just like to say to the industry, happy holidays. I hope you all get some rest over this holiday break and really get a chance to sleep and take care of yourselves and come into the new year with refreshed energy and fresh eyes for our work in the coming year.
For me, it's going to be getting back to the gym. And thank you, David Wannon. And 2, being kind to myself as well. And then, I mean, I think that's my season's greeting to everyone as well is Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and be kind to yourself for God's sakes.
I've spent the last 2 years trying to work on myself and grow and look ahead and constantly just, evolve and move. And so this coming year, I want to just take a pause and reflect on things and remember lessons I've learned, think of the happy times and the special memories that we've made along the way, because we get so busy and we forget to look back sometimes and cherish those things. And so I'm going to use this coming year just to kind of reflect a lot. And then I'll go back to moving forward again. And I just hope everybody finds happiness and peace and gets to have a great year, whatever that means to them.
I am actually going to sort of take a page out of Brian's book from something he said on some past episodes about just trying to let himself shine through a bit more. And that's what I've been trying to do and will continue to try to do. Just, allow myself to have a bit more fun and let people see, who I actually am instead of just like the business version of myself. And to the industry, I will say happy holidays and don't take yourselves too seriously.
Awesome, guys. I'm going to stick with my resolution from last year because it was a really good reminder to me at different points, which is to leave room for magic. Because I tend to just be like, oh, yeah, that fits in the day. Let's do it. Go. And then you just don't feel good. And so there are times where I'm just like, I'm feeling the pressure. But then I remember that a lot of times, when there's space is when there's also space for things to grow and to change. So that is my mantra / resolution for the next year. And, we talked solely about Christmas on this episode. It's what we celebrate. But I do hope that everybody out there who's listening, who celebrates the other holidays and, the traditions that are really special and important to them get a chance to really take in the season and the people that they cherish and, go into the new year rested enough to go to APAP and have an awesome time because I can't wait to see everybody. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening to There's No Business Like. Our producers and hosts are Brian Zelmer, Josh Benson, Kevin Maynard, Katie Miller, and me, Danielle Van Hook. Views expressed in this podcast are ours alone and are not reflective of the organizations we are a part of. Keep up with us at nobusinesslike.com. There you'll find links to all of our episodes and socials. If you like this podcast, give us a like, a follow, a review, or our favorite, a 5-star rating. Oh wait, what was that site? I got it, don't worry. It is nobusinesslike.com. Do I sound out bus-I-ness every time I type it? Yep, sure do. Stay in touch, my friends. All right, so we're going to go back to lightning round next. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I need a redo on that question.
Nope.
Okay, can I go back and change an answer because I was very flummoxed?
No.
That's not how holiday parties work.
Best
No, we've
venue.
moved on.
Best venue.
Nope, can't do it.
Froenthal and Muskegon, also historic venue.
Oh, so
I can't-
just like I said, I'm going to choose a Michigan venue.
It is beautiful and very important to my community. So done. There you go.
All right.
Brian, do not insert that in.
I'm changing
My
mine
first
too.
one was super lame, so you better.
I'm going Red Rocks.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's a
Red
good
Rocks
one
is-
too.
I was about to answer that, but I'm like, I've already answered that. And
The Opera House in San Francisco. I saw Prairie Home Companion there.
You don't
That
get 3, Katie.
was- No, don't do that. Sorry, it just presented itself.
Typically, I open my eyes
Oh, okay, nice.
and then I sit up.
Ooh.
Then I put my feet down. And
Wait,
then
which one's
stand
first?
up.
Which one's first? Left or right?
Typically left.
Don't they both go down at the same time?
Oh, you got to like get out of bed.
No, because I am not a
do you
machine.
dismount your bed like a gymnast, Danielle?
Well, like, no, but like more of an ooze. Like one leg is
pulls it.
closer, so now I got to get the other leg, the rest of the part's closer, and now I'm
more
sitting.
of an ooze. Just-
Yeah. Oh, I guess your feet touch the ground though. I have to do like a little like
That's okay.
Like a
that
little,
makes
like-
sense.
That's true. Okay. You gotta,
right.
like
like my
slide
feet don't
off.
just touch the ground.
Understood.
Okay. This actually makes
I
more
see.
sense.
I understand where that communication went awry.
It makes a really nice
Okay,
sound because that
actually,
first
I would
hole
say
is
my
so
Yeah,
favorite
it was-
holiday song really actually is In Sync.
You can't just go back and redo the entire
cannot do this,
round.
Katie.
And that's not even the right in sync answer.
Oh Holy Night by In Sync, the acapella version, amazing.
But the next question is apparently just for Josh Benson. Another anonymous one. This one's from New York, close to where I live.
Thanks, David.
What are you lifting, bro?
Like I said,
don't know
thanks,
what
David.
that's
The weight of other people's expectations.
Oh,
That's a good.
No, I get more crushed under those. It's not as much of a lift.
Yeah.
Being kind to myself.
Did you say condom? Did
Yep,
you
being kind to myself.
I want to retake that one.
Nope. We don't go backwards.
All right, so Katie would like to completely re-record her lightning round.
yes.
No.
Why is Michigan better than Michigan?
It's not because Michigan is the best. There
mean,
is
the
no
upper-
beating Michigan.
The Upper Peninsula is obviously the best.
Oh yeah.
It is
The
quite
rest of it's
beautiful.
trash.
All of it is wonderful. If you seek a pleasant peninsula, look around you.
Hey, don't throw shade at my state.